This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Thursday? It's The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're checking us out on the Bama Central YouTube channel or watching us on my own social media channels, Joe Gaither 6, on your favorite social media machine. Maybe you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on Amazon, and we say hello to you. You're our favorite listeners, the podcast listeners. Just teasing YouTube listeners. We love you as well. This is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com. We're hanging out in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios, and we're going to talk about Alabama basketball's massive win over the North Carolina Tar Heels, 94-79 last night in Chapel Hill. And to do that, we welcome my friend Mason Woods sitting across the room from me. You can find him on the Twitter machine at @MAWoods_. Having a lot of fun right there. He's maybe recovered from all your signing day madness. 80 or 90 articles going live across the 4 or 5 different Walsh Writing Network college sites. Miami on SI, Missouri on SI, Alabama on SI, Boston College on SI. Mason Woods and the team got it done with signing day yesterday, and then he relaxed. Big old bourbon, cigar, watching Alabama basketball, like reveling in your work. How was your experience?
That was a fantastic way to end the night. You know, it was a very long day, very fun day. I love signing day. You know, it's like you said yesterday. I think it's Christmas for college football fans, but it was a lot of work. It was a long day, long nights leading up to it, and I was glad to be able to sit back last night and watch the Tide absolutely dominate North Carolina.
Whew, absolutely. So that will be the bulk of our conversation today. We might see if there are other sports topics that we can get into after the Alabama basketball conversation, but we'll start with Alabama basketball, and I was wrong. We'll start right there. Before we get into the conversation, we do need to tell you that we are live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs. Red, Reese, and Victoria will be happy to take care of you. You can need a homeowner's insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, your renter's insurance, boater's insurance, whatever you need in the insurance world. Red, Reese, and Victoria, Derek Daniel can take care of you right here. You can call him at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, Mason. I thought that they'd go up there and turn the basketball over and be sloppy. I thought they'd go up there and struggle without Latrell Wrightsell. Instead, they go up there and basically take a wire-to-wire victory.
Yeah, I mean, it was from the beginning of the game. Alabama looked like they absolutely came to play last night. Maybe they heard the show and they just wanted to prove you wrong, Joe, because you should have had faith in them. They proved you wrong last night. That was, I would say, probably their best performance of the season. Maybe considering who they were playing against and the kind of gravity of the game, being on the road and your first true road environment, and being one like North Carolina, which is widely considered probably one of the hardest places to play in the country. All around, just amazing performance. You did everything right last night.
Their blood, the bluest of blue blood in college basketball, and you go into their house and basically jump up on them
and beat them in throwback uniforms too.
Right, they're wearing the Jordans. Was it you that told me that they were?
Yeah.
I ended up taking that onto a mobile radio station last night, 105.5 WNSP. No, it's 105.1 WNSP.
Michael Bronner?
Yeah, exactly. I always mix it up if it's 105.5 or 105.1. But man, just an impressive performance.
Amazing.
Because you don't have Latrell, and okay, the first thing that you find out is Houston Millett is going to be burning his red shirt, and let's start right there.
Yep.
Let's start right there. I mean, you can get into the performance, sure, but the thought that he only had 1 year of eligibility left, and he came to Alabama with a little bit of a knee issue, not nothing like crazy, not an ACL, but like just a little bit of a knee issue. I'm not exactly sure what it was, so I don't want to
Seemed
say,
like it was just
but
kind of a nagging thing.
right, a little nagging issue. And there was a thought that, okay, if you rest this for a year, if you train for a year, you will be fully healthy. You know, give your body, you know, treat your body right. You can play one full year, and maybe that will help alleviate some of the depth, you know, issues. Honestly, quite frankly, on this team, and you can learn the system and really be a dangerous player next season. And I think Houston and his father and his parents, you know, probably all thought that that was the best path for him. This injury to Latrell Wright so happens. You've missed 8 games of your proverbial and now last year in college basketball. You're gonna basically have said, "Oh, I played DNP, coach's decision, in those 8 games," and then he comes out last night. He comes off the bench last night and plays.
They got 3 minutes in the first half,
Yeah,
like 3
6
or 4 in the second, maybe.
9 minutes total, 6 points, 2 for 2 from 3-pointer, 3 rebounds with 2 steals. And he had 1 foul.
And he got those 2 steals like pretty quickly after he got on the court in the first half, if I remember right. I mean, it was just like bang, bang. This guy instantly gets in the game, makes a difference.
95 on the court.
95. I'll never get used to seeing it, but I love it.
So what'd you think? What'd you think of the selflessness, or maybe just, I'm not sure how to describe it. Maybe you can describe the thought or the circumstance of sitting out your first 8 games of your last year and then just saying, okay, yeah, the team needs me. The plan has changed. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, it is extremely selfless. You know, it's just I don't. It's not something you see really in this kind of in the modern college sports world. We see you don't see as many guys putting the team first. You see a lot of guys kind of looking out for themselves, which I don't blame them. That's what a lot of these colleges are doing, is looking out for themselves. But still, you don't see a lot of guys who have this team first attitude. It's really it's refreshing.
I mean, yeah, you talk about team first. You know what the 95 is for.
Yeah, what is I can't remember now. It was some.
It's the fact that when you play basketball, you spend 95% of the time without the ball. So you've got to rebound and set picks and dive after, this, that, and the other. Do all the things that aren't shooting the basketball.
This is I was reading Will Miller's story on Bama Central about Houston Millette specifically, and this quote really jumped out at me. It was, "I feel like what's best for me in my life is what's best for the team. Anything I can do to help impact people, impact the team, that's what I'm willing to do." That is not an attitude of a typical college basketball player. That's not the attitude of a typical college athlete these days. And for him to do that and to like you said, he's missed the first 8 games of his last season of college basketball. He's missed a good chunk of his last season of college basketball.
That's a quarter. That's it's almost a third.
Yeah, and he said, "You know what? The team needs me. I'll get out there and I'll do exactly what the team needs." And he did just that. And I would imagine, going forward, he sees his minutes bumped up a little bit. Hopefully, I know he's probably going to be on a bit of a restriction given the nagging issue. But he was awesome. He was super efficient with the minutes he had.
I really, really hope that it works out for him this season. And now that he has chosen to go this route, he and the team have chosen to go this route. I really hope that, obviously the team has success, but I hope that he finds good minutes and finds good numbers as well.
Yeah, I mean, just like your opinion, what did you think of the decision to bring him out? I mean, because personally, like when I saw it, I was a little confused at first because we had talked about Youngblood coming back so soon, and it's kind of like, you're going to get that extra help soon. I understand this is a big game you needed to win, but I don't know. What did you kind of think about it?
I thought it's fine. I thought if you knew that he's this kind of player, and you did, and it's just about minutes, okay, then that makes sense because Latrell's minutes are now evaporated. Whatever those 13, 15 minutes a game that Latrell was going to end up getting, 16, 18 minutes a game, maybe on a hot night, 22 on a hot night. I think that what you saw last night, the 9 minutes from Houston, is probably just the start because, hey, man, you haven't played a game yet. We want to get your feet wet. Let's go see what you got. Look, in those 9 minutes, I mean,
He
was
was
it
awesome.
plus 11? Is that what I
Yeah.
just saw? Yeah, you're plus 11 on the plus minus. And I usually hate plus minus, but he really did impact plus minus in those games, in those minutes. As you said, the 2 steals, back-to-back possessions at 10:56 and 10:17. You get steals in the first half. You get a made 3-pointer a couple of minutes after that. Like, he's impacting winning on a very tangible level in those 9 minutes against a good opponent, that has good guards.
Certainly.
As well. Like, they've got Seth Trumbull, Elliot Cadeau, RJ Davis. Like, they're good guards.
Coming into this game, one of probably the best trios in the country.
Right. And people are talking about, oh, these guys are NBA draft picks. And okay, great. I think he played well.
Yeah.
The negative part of me is like, the negative part of me is wondering, did you just hold him out because of a health issue? Did you just hold him out because of a minutes issue? And if you did hold him out because of a minutes issue, what is going to happen next Saturday when Chris Youngblood? Now, I know you've said it's been reported. Ross Dean and John Goodman, all the fat cats, all the big heads have reported that Chris Youngblood's going to be on a little bit of a minutes restriction as well to get started. So maybe you've got him on a, hey, let's go see you for 3 minutes. Let's go see you for 5 minutes, for 3 or 4 minutes here.
But then by the end of the season,
right?
What are we doing here?
Is it just going to be I have a luxury of options by the time you get to SEC play? 1st of January.
And I love that for the team, but I hate that for Houston Millett.
It's tough. I hope that, one, he continues to play the way he played last night. But 2, if he does that, I don't know. I think he deserves just a little bit of a coach's sympathetic. Hey, man, here's you an extra 3 minutes tonight. Like, go tear it up, because like he's not hurting the team with those minutes if he plays like he did last night. Now, obviously, tiny sample size. Sure. It's only just 9 minutes, but tiny sample size against a really big-time opponent in a really big-time spot.
There's a lot of things going against him last night.
Yeah,
for
playing, for sure.
Being on the road, being in your first your first game at Alabama, first kind of big-time game. I know he's from Pepperdine, so I doubt he played in an environment like this ever. So yeah, there was a lot of things that said he shouldn't have played as well as he did last night, and to come out and do what he did was very, very impressive. So yeah, I like you said, I hope he keeps doing it. It's just it's a bit of a tough situation, I think. Potentially.
Now, I mean, you end the season in San Antonio with a national championship, then
everybody's happy. Everything's hunky dory.
Right. It just kind of depends on how it all unfolds from here.
I don't know Houston Millett. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know how he feels. He might just be happy to, he might just be happy to be part of the team. He's just happy to be here. Who knows?
Let's talk about somebody who, because I'm watching a highlight right there, and there it goes. Number 2. Woo! Aiden Holloway. Those jokers from across the state,
they just didn't know what to do with it.
No. Those jokers, and I want to be nice, but those jokers said, oh, you're not going to like him. He can't shoot. He's the ball hog. He's this, he's that. Yeah, I see how many 3-point shots. Where am I at? Aiden Holloway, 9 3-point shots. I see he's 5 of 10. He took 10 shots. Okay, whatever. I see he had 5 turnovers, but the shooting, 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. It was all just. There were not really that many. I didn't think there was that was a selfish shot. That was a bad shot. It was all a catch and shoot, catch release. It's Mark is driving, Aiden's on the wing. It's Latrell is driving. It's LeBaron is driving, and Aiden is on the wing. And man, in a different role, in a different system, 5 of 9. You give me 5 of 9, my man's. You can be playing 23 minutes any night, any night.
Absolutely, yeah. You just see he continues to get more and more comfortable in this new role, and he is really, really thriving. Last night was, hopefully the first of many performances like this.
All right, so he had 3 turnovers in the second half, two in the first half. Let's just talk about the turnovers, because I made it one of the keys of our game last night. I had the keys, and look, Alabama missed on 2 of the 3. It shows how much I know. I had the keys. Alabama 13 or fewer turnovers. Alabama ended with 14. So like very
there.
close miss. Then I had Mark Sears. You got to make 3 3-point shots. Mark was only 2 of 7. So another close miss. But this is wins and losses. There's no gray area. That's 2 misses. And then lastly, one I definitely am counting as a miss. I said LeBaron Philon had to have a good game. So Mason Woods, take those 3 keys and just either what did you think about how Alabama did with, the turnovers, only a 14, and then Mark's 3-point shooting, and then LeBaron's performance?
Yeah, I mean, I thought LeBaron was great. He had 15 points. He had his 4 rebounds. He had 3 steals, a block. He was the everything man last night, as he has been in a lot of performances this season. He just does everything so well. He is, and even to hear like the announcers on the game talk about it, they're talking about how smooth he is and how poised he is, and to only be 18 years old, whatever he is, it's just amazing. He is not the same player as Brandon Miller, obviously, but he has that same just feel for the game that I think Brandon Miller had.
The comfort out there.
It's amazing. He was like I said, everything last night. He was all over the place. 7 of 12 from the field. Didn't hit any threes last night, which is tough, but that's okay with me if you do everything else as well as he did.
Getting to the rim really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
some just beautiful finishes, like Kyrie Irving-esque finishes. Oh,
teardrop.
Yes. They were so nice. He's so much fun to watch. And when he lets the hair out too, he's dangerous.
LeBaron
Frolon. He's a problem.
Mark Sears, 20 points, but only 2 of 7 from the on the arc. What do you think of the ending?
Mark Sears was, like you said, he wasn't overly impressive. He only hit 2 of 7 from 3, which is not a great shooting night for him. But he was 7 for 14 from the field overall, so he gets to that kind of 50% mark. And he had 2 rebounds, 7 assists. I think that's big. He was finding guys, especially Aiden Holloway on a few of those 3-point attempts. Maybe like we've kind of been talking about, where he is feeling he has to be the guy that makes things happen a little too much. I felt last night that stepped back a little bit, and he kind of just was like, all right, I'm going to just get the ball to other guys and let them do what they do.
Oh man, I'm watching the highlights again, and they just had the Grant Nelson screen and roll down the lane, double hand dunk. Oh, this team is just so deep, man. Yeah. This team is just so deep. Jay Billis after the game, the SEC ACC challenge is complete, and they're asking him, "Oh, which teams impressed you the most?" And Alabama, man, Alabama.
I think I heard someone say that Auburn may be playing the best basketball, which obviously they lost, so that is not the case any longer. But going into that Duke game, they were probably one of the hottest teams in the country. But Alabama has the most potential of anybody.
They lost?
They did. That dang Cal College from across the
state. How many points? What did Cooper Flag? Did you watch it?
I did. Cooper Flag played well. I don't remember exactly what he finished with.
What did Janai do? Janai didn't take him to victory?
No, Janai didn't take him to victory. He had an okay game. Let's see if I can pull these stats.
Chad Baker Mazzara?
Baker Mazzara came out firing. Auburn, they came out hot. They went up.
What other Auburn basketball players can I name off the top of my head? Those are the only 2.
Got a transfer. Kelly is his last name. I can't remember.
Kelly Akara?
No. Cooper Flag had 22. Janai Broom had 20. So they both had. Miles Kelly though. Miles
Kelly is
4 for 5 from 3.
Oh, that's the dude.
Firing. Yeah. So Auburn came out really hot. They got out to like a 12, 13-point lead, I think, in the first 5-6 minutes. It was like 13.
They quieted the Cameron Crazies?
Not really, because they just stayed loud. It was insane. That you couldn't. No one could hear anything on the broadcast. They were the guys talking to each other were constantly over. What was it? They go to halftime. They go to John Shire to interview him, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't hear anything you're saying." She has to basically get in his ear. Hey, John, what do you think about your team's performance? I mean, it was so insanely loud. But yeah, Auburn, they did come out very hot. They couldn't keep it up. Duke just it was like anytime Auburn had the opportunity to either get back in it or did get back in it after Duke kind of came back in the first half, because they kept it close, but it was just they turn it over, or Duke would hit a big 3, or just something unfortunate for the Tigers would happen. So they couldn't get back in it.
I hate that so much for them. Don't you?
Oh, yeah, it's tragic.
I mean, goodness gracious.
I tell you who was not very good, Dylan Cardwell. 11 minutes, 0 points.
Forward Plays forward for
One
them.
rebound.
Yeah, he's like backup Janai Broom, right? Yeah. He's the kid who's like, oh, I started praying for Janai, and Janai played well, and now we have a good relationship, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Janai
different
was
down there.
8 for 18 from the field. Not great.
Janai.
Got his double-double, though, so I'll give him that.
I just hate that. The SEC 14-2.
I saw the graphic this morning. It was, did you win your ACC SEC challenge game? And it was all 14 of the SEC, and then Kentucky and Auburn. No.
Oh, I just hate that for Kentucky and for Auburn.
Oh, you let us down.
How did you? Come on, it was going to be a clean sweep, except for you bozos.
Couldn't handle Cooper Flag. Couldn't handle it. I mean, what even happened to Kentucky in that game? That was just bad.
Big Blue Nation. Whew. I'm excited. 14-2. SEC best basketball conference in the country, or was this just kind of a right place, right time, right matchups favoring the Southeastern Conference?
I don't know. I think as a whole, I think definitely the SEC. Probably this illustrates that they are way above the ACC. The top end maybe still be competitive. It's still competitive with one another, with Duke obviously winning and then Kentucky going down. So. But yeah, I think top to bottom, you can't really deny it anymore. The SEC.
As we're hanging out on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com with Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Call Derek Daniel and all his insurance buddies upstairs, Red Reese and Victoria, at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Let's keep going with Jaren Stevenson.
Okay,
Jaren Stevenson playing from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Mama played at North Carolina. Jaren played 16 minutes in the game, 6 points, 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. So I don't want to hear all you jokers. Well, I do want to hear from all you jokers. What, from 7 days ago? Was it? Or about 7 days ago when Jaren was still 0 for 16, 0 for 20. Well, he needs to stop shooting. Brother, his stroke is beautiful.
Just had to see one go.
Yes, it's just the Noah Clowney situation where Clowney missed like 23 in a row in games. Like, his stroke is beautiful. 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. I think that you need him.
Yes.
Throughout the year, not only for his shooting presence, but you need him as that extra big. You need to be a big old about 3 rebounds, an assist. He did have a turnover. He had a block. I think that Jaren Stevenson's importance to this roster. I mean, he and Mohamed Diabate basically give you the same kind of body, but much different on the offensive end. Much different on the offensive end, and a little different on the defensive end as well, athletically. But as far as height and who they can guard and who you can match them up with and where you can put them in matchups, they're kind of similar, but they're much different offensively. Obviously, Modi's made a 3-point shot, but I think that Jaren's stroke is a lot prettier.
I think you want Jaren shooting a lot more threes than you do Modi.
Right. So I think that you need both those guys. Because they serve the others' deficiencies, but really, it's going to be really important to see Jaren continue this hot streak. I thought he played well last night.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. He gets the 6 points in a little bit of time. It was 16 minutes, which pretty good chunk of game time. But for him to just be an efficient option that they can kick the ball out to and find pretty consistent shooting, that's great for this team. That gives you another option outside of Aiden Holloway, like we just mentioned. That gives you another option outside of somebody like Grant Nelson, who can do that occasionally. It just widens things up even more for the offense. And then also on the defensive end, he's another big body that can lock things down in there.
Oh, let's flip it and look at some of these numbers here as far as home stats right there. That's North Carolina. You held North Carolina to .988 points per possession. So a little bit better. We're trying to get close to that 0.6, 0.7. We've been in that 1 point something and change lately. So we're a little bit better. It was the possessions, 80 possessions. Wonderful. That's for North Carolina, and Alabama was 79. So like still, that's wonderful. I thought that given the pace, you played your style of game. North Carolina played your style. This is 3 losses in a row for North Carolina. How many? Hubert Davis is tired of seeing the NATO squad.
He's got to be sick. Him and Houston both. They've got to be him and Kelvin Sampson both. They've got to be just going to bed with nightmares of Nate Oates. You think maybe he's got a framed photo of him that he just stares at?
He started throwing darts.
He got a mustache drawn on it.
That's in their secret office, not the public office where everybody sees, but in the back little cave where it's just a chair and a tiny TV and a dartboard. He's
got him a Nate Oates voodoo doll that he just. I mean, he has got to be sick of Alabama because, and this is a very unfortunate stretch for North Carolina because I think at this point you're gonna have to start wondering like, all right, is this team actually really what anybody thought they were? They can maybe pick it up as ACC play comes on, but this is not a good look for the Tar Heels to get embarrassed like this at home.
12 of 33 for Alabama from beyond the arc, so 36%. Really, you want to be playing over that 31, 32, 33%. So you're in that range. That's great. That's great. You're over at that 30. You're 33 or over.
I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. I know people. We got to get to the hole more. I mean, your points in the paint. Alabama 44. Really. North Carolina beat you there, 50-44. And did you get out rebound? Yeah, you got out rebounded 42-40. I thought Cliff played well. I thought Cliff played okay. Yeah. I mean, 24 minutes for Cliff, only 5 rebounds. I think Cliff's issue is he's just getting comfortable and still getting comfortable in the system. And you're combining that against really high level competition right now. In 2 weeks, when you play North Dakota State. And then you got you've got Creighton, you've got North Dakota, Kent State, and South Dakota State. Those 3 games, I think, the end of December, like the rest of this month, getting Cliff not saying he's dragging, but getting him through this month a little bit, getting him through this stretch a little bit, getting him through this. North Carolina and now Creighton with Kalkbrenner about to be coming right up your alley.
Big win against Kansas. That was crazy.
Right. It's Taylor Kalkbrenner, right? Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Ryan, that sounds right.
But big old man, monstrous of a man. And so
Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Ryan. Okay. And so I think it's about getting Cliff kind of not dragging him through. I don't want to say that like he's dragging behind, but kind of just saying, hey, just give us the best you got. Yeah. We'll work through it in practice. Like, look, you've got now 10 days off before you're playing Creighton. So here's you a good little chance to kind of review some film and kind of get him in better positions and get more out of him. Yeah. And then again, you're going to have these other these other kind of bye games on your schedule as you close out the month of December. I think that'll be another chance to kind of like, okay, this is what you got to be, where you are going into SEC play. I like what you've seen out of Cliff. I don't love what you've seen out of Cliff, but I think for a player coming into a new system, he's done fairly well.
Yeah, and I did like what we saw out of him offensively. I thought he was
rolling to the rim.
Was great getting to the rim and finishing around the basket last night. It's just got to get the defensive end, matching that performance. He struggled again last night a little bit with kind of those drop back plays where he needs to get back and cover somebody, and stop him from getting to the basket. He's not quite quick enough. He's always, he's like just a blink behind. But I think, like you said, that will come with him getting more and more comfortable being here. He will learn kind of the nuances of when he needs to move and when he needs to react to things and, in regards to the players around him. And it comes with getting comfortable.
So Alabama 94, North Carolina 79. Man.
BTA.
You're right. BTA indeed. And I'm just impressed. I'm embarrassed at myself. But I'm impressed because I should not have said that Alabama would have lost.
I will stop doubting them. That's for sure. No, I won't. I'll still have doubts sometimes. But This really made me feel a lot better about them moving forward.
100-50 next Saturday against Creighton.
That's what I'd like to see.
100-50.
Brian Kalkbrenner 0 for 40 from the field.
No, but
he's their only chance.
You know, you feel good about it.
I
You
feel
feel good
good.
about coming back home. The momentum that you have built over these 6 now games. Okay, let's get into this. December 14, right? Is when it is, right?
I believe that's what it
Is that right? December 14. Next Saturday, 10, 11 days. What will the crowd be like? It's 7:30. It's 7:30 in Coleman Coliseum. Now, I mean, surface level, 7:30 Saturday night game, packed to the gills against the top, against your quote unquote top basketball rival. It's gonna be packed to the gills. My only curveball issues are December 14. Will the kids still be here? I have no idea. I don't know what the calendar is. I don't know what the calendar is.
Yeah.
Maybe and look, you'll definitely get the dedicated few that will stick around for it. But I don't know. Well, what's the? Are you seeing some dates
Trying
here?
to find it now. I don't know exactly
2025, 2024 academic calendar, 2024 UA academic calendar. I have no idea if the kids will still be here. Either way, I do think it's going to be a really, really hot crowd. I think it's going to be a really big crowd. I hope that enough students stick around for it. I think I saw some Crimson Chaos people saying that the exams are the 12th and 13th, and the kids will be, basically free to go. But look, stay an extra night, have a Saturday night in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, looks like 13th is the final day of exams. So should, in theory, be hopefully a decent amount of people still floating around.
Yeah, schedule your flights for Sunday after your hangover subsides.
Get that last weekend in Tuscaloosa before you have to go back home and see all your family.
All right. It'll be that. So I do think it's going to be a hot crowd. I'm going to have faith in the Alabama faithful that it will be a lot. It's first home game in 2 or 3 weeks. So 7:30 next Saturday in Coleman Coliseum. If you can't be there, if you already have tickets and you can't be there, do your best to get those tickets into somebody's hands who can be there, because I think it's gonna be another. Last night am I overreacting, Mason? Tell me. I thought as the clocks hit 0, another program building win.
I mean, it certainly felt like one of those. We will see kind of what this North Carolina team turns into by the end of the season, because I do think they'll probably get it going by the end of the year, and they'll be a tournament team, and they'll be, right back kind of where they are now by the end of the season. But I don't know. This has been a really bad stretch for them, so I'm still gonna hold out hope, or hold my breath on it being a program kind of builder. It's a big brand that you beat, but this could be a down year for North Carolina, maybe.
Well, I follow that, or further that to say that's how I feel about this upcoming game against Creighton. That boom, this is another program defining, moment for Nate Oates and his kind of era in the Alabama basketball echelon of things. You go up to North Carolina and you win, boom, people are going to talk about that for when Nate Oates was the coach. When I'm 90, when Nate Oates was the coach, and they went up to North Chapel Hill, and then the next week, guess what happened? Creighton came in,
dirty Blue Jays.
Exactly. This is going to be a big kind of.
I certainly think it will be huge for fans. For the fans of the people that follow Alabama basketball and that are like in the know on Alabama basketball, the ones that do recognize Creighton as their biggest rival. This is going to be one of those that is talked about if they can pull it off for a long time.
That's what I'm trying to convey, really. Mason, let's talk about Purple Turtle Roofing, and then I've got a concept that I want to get into. Going back to a couple of conversations that we've had already this week. Let's go right there. Hit that lever and tell us about our friends Dustin Foley and Purple Turtle Roofing. They're the most reliable residential roofing replacement company in Alabama and Mississippi. Whether it's addressing leaks, storm damage, or general wear and tear, Purple Turtle Roofing is going to be there to deliver exceptional roof repair for your property. They're the leading expert in local residential roofing solutions, specializing in providing unparalleled service and quality craftsmanship for all your roof replacement needs. Call Dustin Foley and his team today at 877-PT-ROOF-5 for your free roof inspection. That's 877-787-6635 to schedule your appointment, and one of their qualified employees will come check out your roof for free and make sure you're prepared for any and all of life's storms. You can check them out online today at roofturtle.com. Let me pop up that Roof Turtle banner right there. And we're continuing live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Call Derek Daniel and his team at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Mason, I want to get into the next thing off the top of my brain. And this came to me about 25 seconds ago. So if the conversation only lasts a minute and a half, it's fine. But on Monday, when we reviewed the Auburn game, we talked about Coach Kalen DeBoer's pitch to the committee. And then we talked about the players. They're kind of, we'll see. Okay. Then we talked about on Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday, right? Yeah. We talked about on a Tuesday, Greg Burns' tweet about, and Lane Kiffin's tweet. This is our resume and Greg Burns' tweet. And you told me, I don't like these people going out here and politicking. Well, Greg put that out there, Alabama's athletic director, and has since not said much else. I don't think if he has said anything, I haven't been privy to it. I've been aware of it. Coach Kalen DeBoer has been on several podcasts, several radio shows, several talk shows over the last couple of days, basically saying the exact same line. Honestly, you can put them on a recording. It's been the same line. Tyler Booker did talk on Tuesday to the next round. Scheduled interview. Always, it's basically every Monday. Never, it wasn't unusual by any means, is what I'm trying to say. And they obviously asked him about it, and he, of course, defended the team and said, "I think we're one of the best." So when we play our best, we're one of the best 12 teams. And honestly, when you play your best, I don't have any argument with that. The trick is playing your best. Yeah. All right. All this to say, I think the Alabama politicking. I mean, I want to acknowledge the Alabama politicking on the front side of this discussion, that there has been some.
Certainly.
But man, it's gotten nasty with some of these others. Not personal per se, but juicy. That's probably a better word than nasty. Juicy, because it's not personal, but you got these athletic directors going on Twitter, and look, praise the Lord that it's not the Alabama folks doing it. That it's not it's not Greg Byrne dancing in people's mentions and commenting back with other athletic directors. And praise the Lord that Kalen DeBoer is not, replying to Twitter stuff. Like, I love you, Lane Kiffin, but I'm sorry, this is starting to get bad. You've got Jackson Dart. You've got, is it Centarian Perkins, right? They're saying, let's play Alabama this week for the spot. Why? What? Why?
Why do you want that?
Not why you want. Of course, why you want that. Like, of course, you want the one game opportunity. But you're saying that from the position of being out, buddy. Like, if you were the position of being in, you'd say, no way. Why? Like, of course, this hypothetical game is not going to happen. But let's say it were on the table. Why would you do it, Alabama? You wouldn't do it. You'd say, get the bleep out. Y'all can go to Atlanta and play a scrimmage against yourselves if you want to. Like, you want to play the appetizer before the SEC championship game. Y'all can just scrimmage. What is it? Red versus white, red versus blue, whatever your colors are, Ole Miss. I just think, look, I do want to acknowledge the Alabama politics on the front end, but I want to start going with you down the rabbit hole that, oh my gosh, the Miami athletic director, Ole Miss's coach, you've got a lot of these high-level people, I think, making fools of themselves on social media.
I would agree. I mean, it is so ridiculous. Like, I don't know, just get a grip, people. I don't, we have mentioned it time and time again in talking about this college football playoff field. Like, every team has flaws. Every team has things you can point at and poke holes in why they should not be in the playoffs. So to sit here and, act like you're some above everyone else because you have one more win or something like that is just ridiculous. We know that a 12-team playoff format allows for teams to get into the 12-team playoff format that have a lot of flaws. There never will be 12 perfect teams in college football to throw in there and us have, just no qualms with any of it. That's just not real. So it's just ridiculous. I thought Dan Radakovich,
Yep.
That was really crazy. Going on Twitter, I have got it right here. Really? What put Bama over the top Miami for the last spot is that Miami went 1-2 in their last 3 games by an average of 4.5 points to a ranked Syracuse and then Georgia Tech team that just took UGA to 8 overtime. Bama went 2-1 to 5-7 Auburn, destroyed by OU, and beat FCS Mercer. Talk about the rest of the season. Talk about the other games that Miami played where none of them were against a top 25 opponent. Talk to me about the games where Alabama did defeat top 25 opponents: Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri, the LSU, which LSU has now collapsed, but it's just ridiculous. It has really gotten too far. At some point, I would think that schools would start to step in and get their employees in check. But
continue.
Something has to happen because it really is it's a bad look for these schools at this point. And big academia, big president of the school is not going to play with that. I don't think. There's a lot more going on at colleges than just football.
That's, to me, look, if I were an administrator at Ole Miss, I would be in Lane Kiffin's office saying, first off, hush your mouth. But second, whose idea was it to put this graphic out? That's what I want to know. And they say, what graphic? What graphic are you mad about? And I'd say the graphic that you tweeted, Lane Kiffin, with the caption, blah, 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 spot the ball anywhere. And he says, oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about still, because he's going to play like the 6-year-old. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And you pull it up, and it says, oh, Ole Miss 43, Louisville 24 from 2021. Ole Miss 42, Georgia Tech 0 from 2022. Ole Miss 48, Georgia Tech 23 from 2023. There's only one game on this graphic that is even from this year. Like the straws that people are starting to pull at, the nitpicking, the what if this, what if that. You're not first off, like Kiffin, who gives a rat's rear end about any game that's not in the 2024 season? Like, I see that you have beaten 4 ACC teams over the last 4 seasons. Congratulations. Cool. But I don't know a time where Louisville, Georgia Tech, or Wake Forest were ever in any conversation that we're having here.
No, it's just ridiculous. And for that to, the worst part about it to me is that is the response to a very legitimate, problem with Ole Miss, and it's that Miami and Louisville blew out the 2 teams that Ole Miss lost to, Florida and Kentucky. That is a real pretty good argument to make here. And then Lane Kiffin wants to come back with, well look at other seasons, we won. It's just, I said it the other day, and I will continue to say it, you're going out sad, Lane. I need you to stop doing this because it is very, very embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing for Ole Miss. It's embarrassing for anyone that's a fan of Ole Miss. It's just not a good look. Yeah.
Do you like the transitive property in football?
Yes and no.
I beat team A beats team B beats team C, so therefore team A would beat team C.
Yes and no. I don't know. It's
I hate it.
I do. I get the every game is played in a vacuum. Sure.
Yes. Matchups matter.
Matchups matter. But
matchups and circumstances, health and
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on it, to be honest with you.
Louisville wrecked Kentucky.
They did.
41-40. And look,
and
that's what Lane doesn't understand. Lane has been talking about wins this, beating Georgia that. Buddy, what is leaving you out right now is losing at home. If you were 10-2, you'd be in at 11. You'd be in at 10. You'd be in at 9. If you're 10-2, and your only losses were LSU on the road in overtime, and okay, you let a stinker on the road in Gainesville. All right,
You'd be all right.
you'd be in. But you let the Kentucky Wildcats come into Oxford and hold you to what, 17 points.
Mhm.
And I know it was early in the year, and I think it was a rainy day a little bit. But that's the one, brother.
Mhm.
That's the one that's holding you back. And I'm sorry, your resume is what it is, but like that's the stink bomb.
Yeah, these are and like this is kind of one of the examples where like I do feel like the transitive property maybe applies just a little bit because it is such a massive difference in the two results of these games where Louisville, like you said, did just completely demolish Kentucky, and Ole Miss could not do anything in that game. You know, had it been, oh, Louisville beat them 34-31, and then Ole Miss lost by a field goal, that doesn't matter to me. But Louisville destroyed them, and Kentucky made Ole Miss look very elementary.
So all this to say, I am proud of the Alabama effort, right? Of Alabama, not the Alabama effort, but of what Alabama. I think you have to speak up for yourself.
There's a good way to do it.
At this point, I think that with everybody speaking up for themselves, squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you sit back and just say, then you're probably going to get left out. I think that Greg Byrne, his tweet is, "Hey, here's our case. What
Here it is."
And Coach DeBoer with his little script. We've won 4 of the last 5, most ranked wins. Think we're resilient. We've beaten some of the best teams. I think that's a decent way to do it. But goodness gracious, these get off of I would be embarrassed if this was my athletic director, if this were my football coach, getting just not a good look with a couple of days to go until selection Sunday.
No, I mean, like I said earlier, I was embarrassed enough when Nick Saban basically just gave the same Kalen DeBoer spiel, over the last couple of years in the the weeks leading up to the playoff when Alabama would be fighting for one of the 4 spots. Given Saban likes to bring in the Vegas odds a lot, which I really didn't like, but
yeah.
I hated it when he did it, and it was not nearly to the level that Lane Kiffin, that Dan Radakovich have gone to, that other athletic directors around the country, other coaches around the country have gone to.
You got the Big 12 folks going crazy as well. There's no respect for your conference because every time you play against a big boy, it's just bomb. You get run over. Like you're not playing high enough. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah. The power conferences, which they're here basically, but if they're not already here, they are coming.
Yeah, I mean it's the Power 2, and then it's everyone else. It's
it's only a matter of time before we get the SEC Big Ten Invitational.
Well,
we'll let the other guys get in.
That's the way they need to play. They need to play their own little playoff for qualification into the big boy dance.
There we go.
They need to.
We got to have play-in games,
right? Seed. Give me your best 4 ACC teams and your best 4 Big 12 teams. Throw me 4 wild cards at larges from the group of 5s. Let them all play it out. A 12-team little round robin, and they can sit there and get an automatic berth to the semifinals. Go ahead, semifinals. And then let the Big Ten and the SEC just battle it out, throw in each of them 6 and 6 teams, and so and there you go. We'll whittle it down that way.
I think let's just divide everybody into divisions like the NFL does.
This is just becoming. I hate to say this, Mason, because I hate this phrase so much, but it's the only thing that's coming to my head. It's becoming people want this to be the DEI playoffs. They want it to be, we get 1 team from that. We get these many from the Big 12 and this many from the ACC, and SEC, that's 1 too many. You guys got too many of a share. I hate that phrase, but this is literally
I hate the automatic qualifiers so much. To me, it defeats. It's antithetical to a playoff to have automatic qualifiers. To me, that you're already right there at the beginning saying, all right, well, this might not be the 12 best teams. But
yeah, your 17th best team in the country is on the line to qualify for the playoff this week.
I think I wish we would go back to the BCS and let the BCS rank teams, and then you just play that playoff out.
Right, and you get 1 through 4, get their buys like they've earned.
Yep. And just let the computer decide it. Take any human out of it. Take this committee away from it. Take any of this automatic, oh, you won your conference. Well, you get your bye. Nope. If you're ranked as one of the top 4 teams, you get your bye. Should have played well. Because that incentivizes
Boise State getting a bye.
Just ridiculous.
That's going to be weird. Boise State getting a bye because the Big 12 is bad. Because the Big 12 is cannibalizing itself. Because the ACC is cannibalizing itself.
I did pose that scenario like a month ago on this show.
Yes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is ridiculous.
The bickering is just
teams 1 to 12 and let the playoff go out that way.
The bickering just makes me roll my, especially this week, because like after this past Tuesday, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, it's done.
Well, I mean, they said it themselves, basically.
Exactly. Like there are no more data points except for the conference championship games. And Ole Miss, like Lane Kiffin, shut your trap, man. Your data points are over. Like there's no, unless you're talking mess about watch what we do this weekend. And oh, sorry, there's no Ole Miss game this weekend. We're not going to be seeing that. Like all the arguing seems like crying over spilt milk. Seems like crying over, oh, we're mad about this is the way the committee viewed things. They should have viewed it that way. Well, they didn't. They didn't. Like, you got conference championship games this weekend. It's almost over. You got one more data point to go for several of these teams. We'll find out if Clemson bumps Alabama out. I think that really that is firmly on the table.
Yeah.
I know that there's a huge Mason, you don't have to go with me here. But are you in the camp? I know there's a huge camp of people that says SMU, if you lose, you're out. That Alabama's in regardless.
The
resume schedule. It's so bad.
The resume for SMU is pretty atrocious. And if you get your one chance against another top 25 team like this and you blow it, I would have a hard time arguing for you. But I also have a very hard time arguing for Alabama. You got blown out at Oklahoma, you lost to Vanderbilt, and then you got embarrassed on the road at Tennessee.
Right, but what do you think they'll do?
I think they'd leave Alabama in. I think they're going
to. You think they'll drop SMU out if they lose?
If SMU keeps it close, they'll keep them in. If SMU gets beat by, say, 17 or more, I bet they drop them out.
Dabo. Yabba dabba do. Dabo Swinney coming for that booty.
So we either need Clemson to just demolish them, which still leaves a gray area. I think we just got to root for SMU to win. We're ponying up.
Pony up.
The Mustangs show now.
Rhett Lastly.
Yeah.
Let's go. Put up 100.
I don't even know who their coach is.
Rhett Lastly.
Oh, exactly. I thought that was a player.
He's their coach. All right, so
yeah, I gotta brush up on the ponies tonight.
Pony up, yeah. So that's tomorrow's focus on Football Friday is the ACC championship, SMU against Clemson. So we'll see what happens. Mason, anything else in the sports world itching your brain before we close it out today?
Alabama did manage to land another flip last night after we did the show. Derek Meadows flips him from LSU. He signed with Alabama last night, and seems like Kalen DeBoer went out and just got another Rome Odunze here. He's bigger. He's from what I've read, he is a verified 6'5" target, and similar to some of the other guys I've described, just catches everything that's thrown at him. I think he is one of those players with his ceiling is just absolutely limitless. It's just you're going to have to get him in there and get him involved.
We're at the end of the show. So nobody's watching, nobody's listening at this point. If you are watching and listening at this point, drop us a comment. You're a real one, definitely. But Derek Meadows, look, I got 2 comments that are a little off color. Derek Meadows, is he discount Caleb Cunningham?
Ooh.
Bigger body type.
Yeah.
Bigger body type. Gonna go get it receiver, Oh, Caleb Cunningham left for the bag for Ole Miss, and good for you. No hate. That's not said with 1 ounce of hate. It's not. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Go get your bag. But
Maybe.
hey, we got to get a replacement. We only got
Certainly.
one receiver in the class.
I mean, I definitely think
We'll shift whatever money we had allotted for Mr. Cunningham over to Mr. Meadows.
I would certainly think that pursuing him as hard as they did, following the decommitment of Caleb Cunningham, that was reactionary. That was, we need a receiver. We just lost a really good one. We need to go get one. But I don't know that I'd give him the discount Caleb Cunningham. I think he's still going to be really, really good.
Hey, just because you get something on a discount doesn't mean it's bad.
That's true.
Sometimes if you get it on a deal, it's better.
That's true.
If I get a buy one, get one, if I get something 50% off, if I get, that's better.
I think he's going to be a stud. I think, pair him up with Keelan Russell, that big arm, it's going to be a problem.
The second thing, since nobody's listening and nobody's watching, this is not nice. Is Derek Meadows the Caleb Odom goes in the transfer portal replacement?
Might be. I think that might be.
Ah!
Yep. I mean, we've been reading the tea leaves on that one.
I don't want that to happen at all, but I think that
I think we've kind of been seeing the writings on the wall a little bit. There's been some issues here and there with Caleb Odom, dating back to the beginning of the season, going on Twitter and complaining, and then he hasn't been super involved this year. And
it ain't so.
I could see it.
But
hey, look, it's a good replacement if it is.
We'll see. Obviously, all those announcements are pending. We only have one. We only have one announcement so far.
So
man, we didn't even talk about Kobe Prentice, did we?
No.
Not that it mattered. Like, look, what a nothing burger. Who cares?
People are gonna, oh, he sucked anyway. He dropped. Like, I love Kobe Prentice so much, though. He was just, man. Even like all the way back to when he was a recruit, I was very high on him. I was very excited for what he could do. He just never found it. I wish him the best.
South Alabama?
Ooh.
No, come on. Ole Miss? Mississippi State?
I could see Mississippi State, something like that. I could see maybe not Ole Miss. Well, I don't know.
He's from Calera, right? So he's from the state. Tennessee? Georgia?
Please don't do Tennessee.
Georgia.
South Carolina.
Georgia needs some playmakers.
South Carolina.
Kobe Prentice on the market.
Get Lenore Sellers a receiver.
Do we talk about the other transfer portal guys? So far we already knew Jaheim Otis. We already knew Keanu Coote. Jaleel Hurley, come on, that one was obvious. Jaleel Hurley was on Sunday, and now Kobe Prentice. So Jaleel Hurley, obvious. Sorry.
Again, another one that we kind of expected to happen. Yeah, I don't think any of these so far have been overly surprising. Oh, I'm sure there will be some surprises. There always are with the transfer portal, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Sounds like at least Jaleel Hurley has committed to the program to stay through the end of the season, even as he's kind of shopping for his new school, which is absolute. Like, that's the way to, well done, young man. Like, look, I have nothing against the transfer portal. Use it. If you're in the wrong situation, if you need a better spot, use it. But that's the exact way to do it. Hey, coach, plan on going to the portal, but I'd like to still give you my 100% until our season is done.
Yeah, great.
Perfect.
In the same kind of vein as that, and this just popped into my head, what do you think about Deion Sanders saying that they're going to have no opt-outs for the bowl game this year?
I'll believe it when I see it.
That's exactly the attitude that I had, because I think exactly what's going to happen is he'll suit everybody up, but then Shadur will play one drive and he'll get off the field. Travis Hunter might play one drive and he'll get off the field, and they'll just sit over there and cheer the rest of their teammates on.
Yeah, probably going to be something very similar to that. It's a controlled environment.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice comment for recruiting stuff, sure, but that comment meant nothing. A lot of people were talking about it, and it was like, guys, come on, let's be real.
All right, so let's get out of here for the day. Tomorrow, Football Friday, we're going to focus on SMU versus Clemson. We'll find out there's some football topics to get into as we approach Selection Sunday. It'll be a lot of fun on the Joe Gaither Show. We will be back on Monday to let you know. Obviously you will know, but to talk about Alabama's playoff matchups. Will the Crimson Tide be going to South Bend? Will the Crimson Tide be going to Happy Valley? Or will the Crimson Tide be staying their butts at home and going to a Florida bowl game instead? We'll see. We'll talk about it on the Joe Gaither Show on Monday. We thank you guys so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. Tell a friend about the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Appreciate everybody for joining us really this entire time in this year. Thanks so much for Derek Daniel for hosting us in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Call 205-758-3391 on for all of your insurance needs. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. And we love Dustin Foley and Purple Turtle Roofing. If you've got roofing needs, call Dustin Foley and his team at 877-787-6635. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.